Greetings, adventurer. My name is Rhusk. Today, I shall show you how I went about making this. I will mostly be covering how I made the head, the dagger, and the tail. I shall cover what I did for the glove, or didn't do. I did do. In the later part of the video. For now, let's just get started, shall we? Hello. As I said, I'll be showing you how I made this. B-roll should be showing in the background as I speak, though I'll just speak. It all started with a dagger. A sketch that I made, and then I made it. Pretty simple. EVA foam. Moving on. The head, the most important part. I'll probably be showing and linking some of the people that I got inspired by. Now for this, it's 3D printed. It's painted on the inside, you can't really see. I will show you. It's 3D printed, but to achieve this result, the scales, for that, I used liquid latex and basically applied it to the leather and then peeled it off. For this I did 5 layers of liquid latex. Again, it was inspired by someone. And then I peeled it off and I got this. Actually, hold on a second. This is what I acquired. A stretchy, leather-like. So I have the texture of the leather with the benefits of latex, which is the stretch. Now, I glued this to the 3D print by applying a thin layer of liquid latex, and that did not work. I just resorted to normal super glue. Then it worked, though it gets a bit stiff. Actually, it gets very stiff and brittle and crunchy when you super glue latex. That's something I learned. That's the first time I'm working with latex, right? So, I tried to center the pattern, I guess, of the leather to get a proper look, to make it make sense. And then these are bits of EVA foam that I glued to make larger scales to give more variation to the look. These horns I modeled in Blender, and then I did a slit into the latex, and glued them and added more latex around. And this is the gluing process, as you should be seeing right now. Alright, so I actually used rub and buff and some bronze coloring to achieve this sort of gradient. I made it gold in the middle, the rub and buff, and with the rest more bronze, and around the horns a little bit of red. It's just an original character, so yes. For the eyes, I have a flexible, stretchy fabric that's black that I was originally gonna use to make like the headpiece, so that you can't see my head on the inside, the balaclava. I didn't end up doing that. And I can see from this part, actually the model had this part filled, but I ended up removing that. And I added this, which is the plastic thing that's used for like crochet and knitting and stuff. Not the usual like fursuit eye mesh. For the hinge, yes, the mouth opens. Right, it has teeth. It's a jaw set that I downloaded from Thingiverse. Something that fits something for like a wolf. And I put that. The tongue is a separate model. I also 3D printed that and I placed it, painted it. And I added some super glue around the edges to make it look kind of like gums, but this is just straight up super glue, not the actual jaw set. You can kind of see it through here. And I painted teeth, painted the mouth kind of like tigers, the nose. Through the eyes I see as such. Can you see me? Right. I was talking about the jaw set. It's the standard fursuit jaw set for the headpiece. It uses spring connected on the other side here. The actual jaw set sits on the outside of the head, and I have this piece of foam to just add ears and make it more aesthetic so you don't see the mechanical jaw set. It uses M3x20 screws and some nuts, as you can see here. And when it moves, the spring is on the inside. Now, that's mostly it for the head. I tried to make a couple different things to get it to hold onto my head. Ended up going with an elastic, one of these, I don't know what they're called, and another elastic from here to kind of go like this. And for this, the actual 3D print ends here. I kind of left a flap to add and adjust stuff. This is a mixture of like this part that sits in my chin. This is some upholstery foam and some of this plastic that I used for the eyes. So it's not just plastic sticking in my neck. It still kind of is, but it's cushioned by the foam.
This, we have Rhusk. Greetings everyone, welcome adventurers. Can I join you on an adventure? And yes, my head does show, usually a hat when I'm cosplaying. I only wore it once, alright? Once. Now, let's take a look at the tail, shall we?
Now, let's take a look at the tail. So, this is the tail. Doesn't really fit into frame, but you get the idea. I'll insert some pictures here, or like here. Now, it's attached by plastic clip, one of these. It's adjustable on one side and fixed on the other. Don't mind the sewing, because you don't really see it. I kept adding foam until it sat properly and didn't flop all over the place. It is made first by a sketch and then a central layer of fabric that was supposed to be a non-stretchy, strong fabric. That wasn't the case, but it still worked out. And it's the first sail I made, so yeah. Fabric, foam, like EVA foam, like the one used for floor mats. And then upholstery foam, just a lot. I have maybe like 15 layers of upholstery foam on each side. So what I'm talking is like your mirror. Yep, the fabric, EVA foam, and a lot of upholstery foam. And then I sliced it with a knife to give it the shape. When I got the shape, or as close as I can, I added this stretchy beige fabric, sort of made it into a sleeve, and sewed it, and glued it to the tail. Then I made these scales using EVA foam, well, craft foam, which is still EVA foam, but the thinner one. And I added the same one just on repeat. And that was it for the tail. If I had more time, I would have added like underbelly kind of pieces of foam. But alas, I might still do it, but yeah. For the fixture, it's sewn and glued into the core of the foam of the tail, like around this much of a stretchy fabric. The stretchy fabric, the black one that I used. It's on the inside. You can probably see it. And then this nylon that is not stretchy is sewn to it, and then a similar one here, and we have the tail. Opens, goes around, and just attaches as such, and just keep it under so you don't see, to suspend disbelief as much as possible. And yeah, one of the things that I wanted to do was gloves. I had 3 virgins that totally failed. The first one is this, which you may have seen at the start of the video. This is a faux leather that I found and bought. This is sort of the inside of it, and I cut glove shapes as you do with normal fabric, or like at least flexible fabric. You place your hand to get a pattern and then add a couple inches, a couple centimeters for sewing. And I did that. I added a lot of room for sewing. Flipping it to get to this, and like, yeah, you sew it reversed. To flip it to get to this shape was a nightmare. Sewing it was a nightmare, because it's tough. I had to use pliers with the needle. Let me just demonstrate the problem with this. It's not flexible. This would have been perfect if it had worked, but no. Or, like, it probably needs some adjustments. It's not lined up properly, and the sewing ended up not being proper. You can see the insides. It's not proper. I didn't machine sew it because it didn't work as a prototype. Yet here we are. Second pair of gloves. I did the same thing I did for the head, which is I applied liquid latex. For the head I did 5 layers. For the glove I did 10. And I acquired regular, like tall, like long-sleeved gloves, and undid the sewing on them. Did the 5 layers of latex, added 1 more layer on the glove as I stuck it to the sheet of leather latex mixture. so it sticks and to acquire the pattern. And after sewing it and flipping it, this is what we have. Yeah. I didn't proceed because my hand doesn't fit. So the glove was flexible. The glove was like this. It was similar but black. So by itself, it's flexible. It's nice, it's stretchy. Latex by itself is nice, stretchy, flexible. Combine the two, you lose the elastic properties of both, and you have this. Fitting doesn't even work. Because of the latex, it kind of seeped through on both sides. Like, you have the pattern on one side, on the other side you have latex. Like, the fibers are soaked with latex. So it doesn't really, it's not working. It doesn't even fit. This would be a nightmare at a con, because it doesn't fit or work properly. So I need to be able to take the stuff off at a con. I did take both the head and the tail off. That's my needs at least. And there was one last thing I tried. I used this. Actually, I'll insert some photos. I should have some. I used the thermoplastics, the beads that you melt, usually boiling or hot water. Then you shape them, and I shaped them into like claws. It was awesome, but fitting them, it was sort of bulky around the fingertip, and I didn't want that. I didn't want separate fingers because they keep falling off. It doesn't fit, and I wanted the scale. I wanted it to be like a glove that I can take off, and I did that. You can see the photos here. So I used this kind of glove. It's beige, right? And now it looks like I'm not wearing anything at all. But like, yeah, it would have been awesome. I had the clothes taken out, but it was bulky. It was a whole mess. It didn't work. Though on camera this looks good. Would have been awesome if I just had claws. I can just take it off. But yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching, adventurer.
Hey, adventurer. Thanks for watching. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next adventure.